Third time's a charm. Collective, welcome, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist, and we're going to do your love check-in. See what's going on, see what collective frequency we're tapping into right now and where you might be on this journey. I read for, if anybody wants career readings or, couples readings, or those who are maybe not interested in the twin flame process, or that term irritates you, everything you need to know is in the description box below. You can also comment, reach out to me on Instagram. But this space is geared towards those who believe and know that their twin flame union is the key to their purpose, their life's purpose and calling. So, let's see. Yeah, this is like your life's work. Two of Wands here, Ten of Pentacles at the bottom. Growing old with this person is going to shift the collective in such a way that, excuse me, it is not, that is not, oh, there's one more coming. I can feel it. Someone's talking about me. What is that? People are talking about people. This connection is going to probably be surrounded by some gossip. Knight of Swords. Or maybe everybody's talking about it because everyone else sees how obvious it is. They're like, these two need to be together. Because we have the Knight of Swords chasing this feminine running away with the Seven of Wands. So it's a runner-chaser dynamic. That could be a fear that the masculine has if they come forward with this confession or this expression, that the feminine will run. But we have the Queen of Cups here. The Queen of Cups is like, I'm ready. So this could have been a runner-chaser dynamic, but now with the Two of Wands, it's, I feel the feminine is making this choice to stay put, right? This could be a feminine who physically moved or withdrew their energy. The Two of Wands is saying, let's work together. They're realizing that this challenging connection, because this feels like a challenging connection, is part of their life's purpose. They're finally realizing it. Nine of Wands, Wounded Warrior. Ooh, Queen and King of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. There's like anguish and, I was going to say deception, but then desperation was starting to come out. So there could be all of those things, right? And these two are not looking at each other, the King and the Queen of Coins. So something with coins. I just did laundry this morning, so maybe something with a laundromat. But it's, or slot machines, vending machines. You could meet somewhere where it's like coins are involved. Maybe you collect coins. Ooh. And then the Magician just came out in the reverse, which is, it feels like that grandpa or that, crazy uncle or whatever who is like, oh, here's a coin from behind your ear. That kind of thing. That also reminds me of Pride and Prejudice. With the Magician in the reverse, if I can get through this reading with real words, it's going to be magnificent. The Magnificent. That also reminds me of No Strings Attached. But, okay. So, in No Strings Attached, he's like, I don't know his name, but he's like the Magnificent or something. And it's this kid that's always practicing magic. And then the coin behind the ear comes from Pride and Prejudice, where what's his name? The one that starts with a W. The officer. My sweet Wimsley. Now I'm thinking Weasley. All I can hear is Weasley in my mind. which is not Pride and Prejudice, it's Harry Potter. Trying to think if there's any characters that cross over from Pride and Prejudice to Harry Potter. Maybe somebody's from Europe, or there could be an accent or a time difference, an age difference. But anyway, you know, where they want the ribbons. The girls, they're like frivolous and they want the ribbons, and he goes to offer them a coin. He pulls one out of their ear, and so it's like that can give me, with the magician in reverse, that can give me two things here, two storylines where there's a false magician here. There's a false person that seems like they're good. They're very giving in gifts, possibly love bombing, but they're manipulative and they're just out to get your coins. They're a gold digger. In Pride and Prejudice, it's the male, the masculine, right? And then there's the magician who's from Friends with Benefits. That feels like it's a child trying something. So that this masculine could feel like a magician in the reverse because they're practicing. But in that movie, he's always messing up, you know. He's like, it's all part of the illusion, you know. He has a good nature about it. He's a child. He's exploring something new. He's trying something new. And he does some cool tricks, you know. He's like, that's pretty cool. He like serves them coffee from a sleeve, and then the coffee bag busts in his chest or whatever, like catches himself on fire. It's like, this feels kind of like Dexter's Laboratory, you know, where it's like a kid practicing something new. So somebody is approaching this, the masculine could be approaching this. I like that storyline better, so we're going to go with that. I'm sure there's going to be false magicians, Queen of Wands, but the Queen of Wands is here, so you're protected, and these false magicians don't stand a chance. So, you know, I don't want to give energy to that just because that's to be expected anytime that there's a healthy union. I'm going to turn that heat off. I think it got too loud in the last couple of videos. Four of Wands and the Page of Wands. Could be a masculine fire sign. The Nine of Wands is a wounded warrior and a feminine that's dealt with deception. So it's like they're looking at the masculine's kind of, I'm tired. You know, his eyes look like they're shut. He's just focused on himself, because I think anytime he's given or tried to, like anytime he's tried his hand at magic or wands, energy of alchemizing or creating something, I think he's been disappointed in the past. And so now he's in this place where he's just focusing on himself. He's focusing on his coins. He wants to make sure that he stays balanced. He's very concerned with staying balanced. And I think for both of these individuals, love has been an area that makes both of them feel imbalanced. So these are two possibly hyper-independent individuals who have maybe been in their hermit mode here. All right? You could have a lot of earth placements or fixed energy in your charts. But these are two people who want someone for the Ten of Pentacles. They want to grow old together. They want something stable. They want something very old-fashioned, right? Pride and Prejudice and like the grandpa and the older uncles and stuff. It's like, I get this kind of like somebody from a time where it was just simple to love. I don't know if that time has ever existed, but that's very Piscean of me to dream of a time where love is idealistic and simple and carefree and fun, and if you mess up, it's okay. I feel like maybe with that, the Three of Swords, 9:09 on the clock there, I think any time that you didn't do something right according to the people that you were around, the person you were giving your energy to, because it was not meant for you, you got a lot of judgment. You probably got a lot of degrading or passive-aggressive comments. It was like you were put down and deceived by those closest to you. So the idea, I mean, family, friends, lovers, and there was probably some self-deception there as well, because you gave to entities that were not giving back, that were not reciprocating. So it was, you were over-giving and depleting yourself, and it was all false magic. Isn't that from Trolls? With Justin Timberlake as well. Justin Timberlake, I believe he's an Aquarius, but I could be wrong. I've got the magic, and I got the magic, baby. You know, like, I think that's from Trolls. I used to collect those treasure trolls. Treasure troll, treasure trove. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection is complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? This Queen of Pentacles knows their worth, and yet there's something missing. It's, you can have it all together, but if you don't have your divine counterpart, if you and your twin flame are not on the same page, you will always feel unstable. And people might think, oh, that's codependent. Well, you can think that. You are entitled to think your thoughts. But yeah, 5 of Cups and the Sun and Justice. This is your cycle. The collective that I'm talking to that taps into this, that resonates with this space, believes in love. Okay? They believe in love. Even the ones who say they're not looking for love. Well, then why are you listening to love readings? So you can pretend that you don't want the thing that you want most, but you want the thing. You need the thing that you want most. It's and not because you're incomplete by yourself. It's because that is why you incarnated into this I was to say into this union, but yes, that's why you incarnated into this life cycle, is so that you could bring that elevated frequency to the collective. So you could show others, and it's not, I'll show them, I'll love better than anybody else. It's because there are so many others out there that they're beyond hope. They feel beyond hope that love exists, that connection exists, right? These are not just people who don't have a romantic partner. They feel isolated. They're the island of misfit toys, and it's like this union is part of the collective of unions and twin flames that incarnated to bring these people. It's like the beacon. Your love is like a beacon. The work that you do in the community and in your environment is maybe you're environmentalist, maybe you're very conscious about that. This is a vegan channel, so maybe one of you out there, maybe there's one other vegan out there besides me. And that's another way that you will feel very isolated. If you care about anything in this world, if you care about the planet, if you care about people people who are the innocent, and people who are being the evils that go on in the world, okay? If you care at all about any of that, if you are an empath, if you have any empathy, right, then there's a need to change that, and you are part of that change. But you can't make change alone. Change is not made by one person. It can be started or inspired by one person, right? But true change comes from within the free will and choice of each of the individuals. That's why all divine unions are twin flames, but not all twin flames come into divine union, because we have the free will to change. And some people are so, and maybe you feel like this, that it's beyond hope, or there's been moments where you had to muster like the tiniest flicker. It's like the never-ending story. There's a speck of sand, and you can build and imagine this entire world, this entire reality, if you have that speck of sand. So it's like searching for that speck of sand. Something with Moonchild, or the moon, but it's like the sun here is the masculine. And you and your person, you may be like, well, maybe we're not going to do anything that magnificent, or maybe we don't have the means, or we're too old to travel or whatever and go do missions in other countries or something like that. But you can have a platform. I mean, social media has its benefits, right? It is here for us to connect with, if we use it properly. All of these things are tools to connect us from distances. So you and your person, there could be a distance between you, physical distance, but it feels more like with the Sun here, you might have a child because it's between the King and the Queen of Pentacles. You may have a child that is going to do major things, right? But because you come together in this honest divine frequency and you bring a child, I mean, how many children, and especially the cycle breakers, we look at our past and it's like, whew, what am I going to do with that? You know, it takes all of your work to muster up the will to, and maybe you never wanted children. I'm getting that a lot of you may have never wanted children because of how you were raised. You were like, I'm not doing that to a child. I didn't want to be brought into this world. Maybe you were brought into this world in a very traumatic way, or very unsettled circumstances, and so you're like, I don't want to do that to a child. But this love is going to surprise you, your person, and the collective, because it's going to inspire that little sand, that little bead of sand, that there is hope. Because the Five of Cups is in the past here. This feeling sorrow over love, and in the heart space, feeling deceived by love. The Sun is here. The masculine here. This is the divine masculine celestial body, the Sun here. And again, you could have a actual Sun, but whatever you create together, whatever this King and Queen of Pentacles create together, is going to bring warmth to the planet. It's going to nourish the planet. It's going to blast away microbes. You know, sunshine is very effective cleaner, right? It's like it's going to make all things white and new again. It's going to rise up, right? And this is, this could represent, I mean, if you look, the story of Christ is in every civilization. There are versions of that story as a child, a son born of a virgin, right? Who died and was risen, right? We were talking about resuscitation and that resurrection. So this could be a reunion, but it's like, maybe you've been twin flames through many life cycles and never come together. This is the life cycle that you're going to unify because of whatever reason, right? Death. Four of Wands. And see, this gives me the Nine of Wands as well. This confirms this Nine of Wands in the masculine. Look at them. They're hanging on to those wands. They're hanging on to them for dear life. It's like, I believe in magic. You believe in magic in a young girl's heart. The music and something, I don't know the words, but it's magic. The music is grooving. I think you're going to be around music. Quite a bit of music. We have Virgo energy here, and then we have Scorpionic energy and Aries with the Tower here. I was going to say with the Taurus here. So with all the Earth energy, there could be a Taurus involved. Three of Wands. See, that Two of Wands was between the masculine and feminine, was giving me Three of Wands. Like there could be a distance that needs to be closed, physical distance. So there's somebody moving, or you could be moving in together, right? If you know them. Nine of Wands again. But see, this Nine of Wands is like this love. The four of you, when you're by yourself, you're all alone holding up these wands, you're exhausted. This is the wounded warrior, Nine of Wands. Then we move into the Four of Wands. That's the 11-11, the divine union. Once we come there, this love is the salvation. And it makes sense of all of the trials, of all the war, the battles, the eons and ages of the fight. It's all worth it. There's no fighting here. Look at all these animals. It's like a sanctuary. It's a haven. It's healing, and the sun is shining down on all of this. Even at night, right? Starry night. But the sun is there. And there's wheat growing, right? More Virgo energy. I think you both are going to probably live a quiet life. I was going to say a quite, and isolated is not the word I'd like to use, because isolated feels like separate or away from. I think you're going to have space. You're going to create a space where maybe you bring in like travelers, or maybe you travel and that's what you'll do. Maybe you're going to go do missions or travel, and or you could create some sort of haven for people and animals, right? All the unloved things you're going to show others how to love, and not in a way that is, you're going to just show them through your way of being. There's something about the way that you two are, because you've done this work, because these are two people, these hyper independent individuals, they know their value. They've chosen themselves over anything that was not fit for them, anything that was not healthy. This is your salvation. Heart. With the evil emperor and Darth Vader, the emperor is trying to lure Luke to the dark side. There's that false magician energy. At one point, the emperor turns to Luke and taunts him with these words: "The hate is swelling in you now. Take your Jedi weapon. Use it. I am unarmed. Strike me down with it. Give in to your anger. With each passing moment, you make yourself more my servant." It's like there is a lot of temptation and this false magician. There is a lot of karmic with the justice there. There's some sort of karmic attempts, feeble attempts, but it's like the nothing. It's like something's trying to put you in this desperation, this despair, because if you're in despair and you're desperate, you'll accept whatever. You'll be like, okay, I'll just give my energy to this person or this job or do this thing that I know I'm better than, but I have no hope left and I'm hopeless, right? So I'm going to go ahead and switch the masculine and feminine so that they are facing each other. All right? Because you've had some sort of, with that Two of Wands between them, some sort of karmic interference. Soul chakra. To thine own self be true. Once you choose yourself, that's the life sentence. That's to thine own self. And your self tells you that there is a bead of sand. And as long as you hold on to that, as long as you give a name to it, as long as you don't fall into the despair, you know, and this is very trying to you. I can feel that, because it is like, where is my person? Where is this love? Like, I believe in it, but I'm having a hard time. I'm not seeing it. So, and then it's just like this sense of, I want to give up. You know, I think maybe mornings are very difficult. Getting up and being like, okay, here we go again. Here we go again. Man's main task in life is to give birth to himself. This is returning to your inner child. The soul chakra, seat of the soul. All right. And this is the sacral chakra, so it's it is that sexual alchemy, that creative source of energy. So I do feel like there will be a child involved in this connection. If that's not something you want, whatever you create it's going to be like, you know, people that refer to, like, this is my baby, their animals or their kids, right? It's like their project, their business, that's my baby, my work is my life. You know, it's like your life purpose is interwoven in this connection. We experience freedom, the freedom to become all that we are meant to be. The ancients saw the seat of the soul as a real PowerPoint. It is. PowerPoint presentation. Somebody could be in the business world, or somebody could be kind of like slideshow, right? I'm getting a slideshow. They could be going through photos or like re-looking at your messages or something. Like there's some sort of, because there felt like there was fear, because you both had this fear. And I was just listening to Every Woman by Whitney Houston, which I believe that she was a Leo. which is the sun. But anyway, she says, when you feel danger or fear, instantly I will appear, right? Because I'm every woman. That's the Empress. That's the Empress energy, because the Empress is the culmination of all the queens and modalities and elements. They are divine alchemists, the Empress and the Emperor. And the first page said the Dark Emperor. So it feels like with the evil Emperor, there was some sort of temptation. Maybe the name Luke, right? Skywalker could be an air sign or have air placements, but it's like the one, be sweet or I'll kill you. Maybe Gemini, because that one back there. Yeah. There's somebody had like hatred. So maybe the loss of hope was due to, through shadow work, maybe the masculine in particular was realizing, like, I feel this way, or I'm afraid of love, or I don't know how to love. Like, I don't know how to love because of my mom, my dad, my uncle, my grandpa. Like, maybe there's some sort of early, maybe in the father, right? Because Luke and Darth Vader. Spoiler alert. No! It's impossible! No! And he is, in that scene, he's kind of looking like this. I mean, his hand's all fucking chopped off, but he's like hanging onto the pole there. And he's like, no! So there's something with that where the masculine, they blamed their upbringing in a way that set them back from moving forward, because they hadn't forgiven themselves. They hadn't forgiven other people, and you can't forgive someone who doesn't ask for forgiveness. Some people are so far gone and so far to the dark side, you can't fix them, you can't save them, you can't heal them. They have to do that themselves. And if they never ask for forgiveness, there's a way to move forward with that. Like, you know what? I come from a very powerful darkness, so now I can be, like, if you're raised by a narcissist, right? Then you understand the mechanisms. You can help other children, maybe children that are not yours. Maybe you will be like the cool aunt or uncle or whatever, but you can influence through your own healing the next generation or past generations, right? Because there are a lot of adults out there we're all doing that inner child healing. That's the point of this whole shadow working business is to heal the inner child. And so it's like you can show them, and I think this feminine has brought a little seed of hope. I mean, she is the Empress in the Never-Ending Story. She's called the Empress. And because she's there and she's just holding that space, she can't give him the answers. She can't tell him. He has to come up with the name. He has to know what to call it. He has to alchemize. That's the magician, through the throat chakra. He has to alchemize the new Fantasia, right? And so there's something where it's like he realizes he can't hate that any longer, because that's where he came from. This masculine came from maybe darkness, the dark side. And maybe they gave into that darkness. But only when we give into the darkness can we really understand how far we are willing to go, or how like every bit of work that it takes to come out of that darkness and to bring light into that. And when you do missions, or when you do work like that, social work, and you're working in the community, you're going head first into really dark places. So there's a lot of evil, there's a lot of tragedy, and so when you go in there and you're that speck of sand and you show others how they can build, right? What are the challenging situations in my life, and what am I supposed to learn from them? Yeah, this is a masculine who was kind of thrust into shadow work. Because, I mean, in Star Wars, I mean, there is a there is spiritual warfare always going on. That is the greatest warfare. And then it just works through us as terrestrial beings, and then we create, murder, cheating, lying. The sins come from our being conduits of that energy. Cheating, lying, stealing, wars, all of that comes from our very human, basic fractures, I guess is how I'm going to say it. Are there circumstances in my life right now that I can look at as opportunities to keep my heart open? What can I do to keep compassion alive in these situations? And it is very challenging. And for the vegans out there, shout out to my fellow vegans, or anyone who's interested. Because you might be looking at it like, oh, I'm not gonna fit in anywhere. It's gonna be hard, and yes, those are real concerns. And some people will go, some of those like ooga vegans will be like, oh, get over it. And everybody's circumstances are different, but those are real concerns. If you love your family, and then you suddenly don't want to go to family gatherings, or you find out your family doesn't actually support the things that you want to do, the changes you want to make, that can be very, very overwhelming. And it is much easier to just continue with the mainstream and to continue just giving to lower vibrational energy. Lower vibrational energy is always easier. The demonic is easier. It is not challenging to give in to sin and temptation, right? Temperance, Sagittarius energy. Source, the crown chakra, Jupiter, it connects us with source, right? Skywalker, it's that Jedi mind power. It's mind over matter, where by resisting that, you will feel very alone. So yeah, it's good to have a tribe. It's good to have at least one other person in this life that you align with, because then it gives you hope to build a fantasia, that others can live in, and others can be free in, and others can that have a harder time alchemizing or envisioning that reality. You're helping others to realize that. There's a lot of heavy work here, so it makes sense that I'm like ready to go take a nap. Waiting to embrace us. A feeling of a father. Okay, we have a father who is filled with compassion, a feeling father who hurts when his children hurt. So you might already have children, but I feel that I feel like I'm speaking with empaths who inherit a lot of energy from around them. So you want to be alone, but with somebody else, because it's like the world is a very treacherous place sometimes, right? Even when we're under pressure and we feel like nothing is going right, he's waiting for us to embrace us whether we succeed or fail. So it's like when you feel danger or fear, instantly I will appear. I feel like that's what you and your person are speaking back and forth to each other telepathically, that you've always been protected, even though you've been through a lot, and there's a lot of weight around your experiences in this incarnation. It's your person has always been there, and you've always kind of felt them like a imaginary friend. And then I think there was a phase or a period of your life where you're like, and that could be what you're currently like, kind of, it's maybe like a daily thing. You kind of wake up and you're like, oh, and then slowly throughout the day you get little nods from the universe that gives you hope, and then you can rest your head, and then you hang out with your person in the 5D through your dreams, and then you get into the next day. So maybe it's kind of like a roller coaster every day for you right now, because you're so close to that union. And the closer you get, right? Darth Vader realized Luke's really powerful, and he discovered these powers. He didn't really know them like Harry Potter, which I was dipping into that too. So it is like the chosen one. Neo, Keanu Reeves, which is also the letters K and R. If someone else out there is named Keanu, maybe you have like a strange name or a Hawaiian name or something like that. But he's a Virgo, but he's the one. And then, Trinity, Holy Trinity. It's like they are the pair. Harry Potter. He was the chosen one. He didn't know. He knew like he was different, but he was always ostracized or shoved in a fucking under the stair cupboard because he was different. So it's like this masculine, I feel, is realizing all of these powers, and realizing that their powers have always 35, 45. There could be like a 10-year age difference or something between you. But something about the 10 between you is an ending. So there was some sort of ending. It's like this masculine was giving their power away to darkness. And maybe it wasn't intentional. It's not like, I don't think this masculine was like, yeah, I'm going to give my energy to hurting people. I think, maybe they went into the military or the police force, or they got into a gang or a cult or something like that, and then it ended up, they realized like, oh, this is actually not where I'm going to find my people. This is not where I can do this work. Maybe they burnt out because they couldn't do the work that was necessary, because they were always alone in it. Every place they went, they thought they were going to find their family. They thought they were going to find the people that had a similar or same vision that could help them create this fantasia. And it's not in anybody else but their person. And I think once you come together, you'll discover so many other people out there that have been trying to hold on to that little speck of sand and try to create, the stars. What is the movie where they say the mother took the milk from her bosom and created the stars? And from them she sent forth the milk from her breast or her bosom, and it became the stars. And they're talking about the creation and the Star Wars. So it's like, this is like a cosmic creation between you two. C, the letters C. There's some kind of some kind of wonderful. Who's that? Is he a Cancer? You or your person could have Cancer placements, I believe. John Cusack, also with the C. JC, Jesus Christ. There is some sort of like Christ-like mission, right? And we are all created in the image of whatever you call the creator. And so it's like we are that's kind of a strange message, and that's going to be touchy for some people to take that in, because they're going to say that it's false idolatry or whatever. But in my belief system, I don't believe words that were written down by man, okay? Because they were used for power, right? Just like the Kabbalah, these people, the peoples of that area were ignorant, and they were not educated. And so those who had education, the powers that be, the false magicians, they fed lies to these people. That if you do what we want you to do, if you commit acts of atrocity, if you go out there and you fight and you kill these people, right? And YouTube's probably going to be like, whatever. But that's why I don't care. I always mark that my channels, my videos are not for children. So no one's going to fucking censor my words, okay? No one's going to censor my words. I'm not going to, put a little asterisk in the word sex. It's sex, people. We're all 18 plus. Like, get over it. It's a fucking word. Anyway, yeah, there's some heat here because there's a change that needs to happen. So this love is, that this love is more than just that. It's very important. It's breaking the matrix down. So yeah, the Matrix, Harry Potter, Star Wars, the never-ending story. This is the cycle. This is what you have done in every life that you've tried to do, and I don't think that you have, because if you haven't broken the matrix, you keep coming back, and I think you and your person keep cycling back. And this is the time where the masculine raises to their emperor status, their true emperor status. I get in a past life that your masculine may have, you or your masculine may have, you or your person, we'll just say that, may have killed each other. You know, like I think you've done really awful things to each other in past lives, inadvertently, right? Maybe intentionally, but your souls were always linked, and it's like this is the life where you get it right, righteous. But I believe that telling people like there's only one person that can be a saint or one person that can be the martyr, I think that's absurd. And that's why I got shunned out of churches in most places, because those are the types of things that never made sense to me. Because I think that we are all creators. I know that we are all creators. And so we all have the ability to be Christ-like, right? Because even he, right, this character, this image, this idol, this concept of Christ is it's an ideal, and they were a person too. So even if these are like accurate records through history, whatever you believe, then that was a person that was doing Christian things, Christ-like things. They were rising to a frequency of divine humility and acts of service towards others, and love. You're telling me that Jesus never fell in love? Come on. We know about Mary. And maybe you have conspiracy theories. I think you and your person are very, very deep. You've got a lot of theories. You've got a lot of understanding and knowing about major concepts that I think a lot of people do not like. They're very unpopular truths because they're not opinions. Okay? Those are different. Opinions can be swayed. A truth cannot. So, anyway, that was a lot heavier than I thought it was. I was just going to do a quick check-in. But I feel like there's a subset of this collective that I'm tapping into, and that I'm gathering this information and this sense of importance around this connection that's beyond just, I just want my person. I'm lonely. I just want to fall in love. I just want to be rescued. I just want this or that. These are the ones who get it. Y'all are the ones who stuck around. You that's right here, right now. You get it. You get it. And if you didn't, and you were close to it, this reading hopefully had some confirmations for you. I'm not going to pull the dice or any of that, just because I think we got plenty of stuff coming out there in the cards and in the channeling. Two of Swords and Hangman. Yeah, it's like there's so much. And the Fool. There's fear. And with that, let me show you. And that also takes me to the Matrix, where he leans forward, he says, show me. You know, like, show me what you know, where the student becomes the teacher. I think that the feminine, it was kind of instructed this masculine in the 5D how to rise up and to become the one as like the Holy Trinity. You know, she was all in her pleather suit. And she kind of showed him the way, and now he is so magnetized, and I'm getting magician, M-A-G, right? It's like magnificent. It's going to be like a spectacle, like nothing else the world has seen. And he is going to lead, this masculine is going to now lead the feminine in the 3D, because that's where the work needs to be done, right? The work, and that's why we incarnate, is so that we are celestial beings that inhabit terrestrial bodies so we can do the work, and help guide others, show others, and learn from others, so that the collective continues to raise its frequency. And then that's when, our solar system will elevate, ascend. I don't know. The ending is not a thing of fear for me. So anyway, I'll keep going in there. Yeah, you guys are going to talk. I think you're going to talk kind of endlessly, but it's not ever going to be boring. Everything that you say is going to be like just magic to each other. And you're finally going to be able to talk with somebody that you know, and discuss these things, and it's gonna be like, yes, finally, oh my gosh, I can use these terms, or I could sit here in silence and we could just talk telepathically, because that's what we were meant to do. Words are important, but connection is of the heart space, and that really has nothing to do with words, right? But I do get the sense that the communication and the conversations are going to be very nourishing as well. And then you guys will just probably sit in silence and experience each other and explore each other's physical bodies and make love, and that love will continue to expand like this orb, right? Expecto Patronum! Oh, maybe that's what, I don't know. I was gonna say something, like that. It's gonna be like your finishing statement. Expecto Patronum. But anyway, and right outside that bubble, there's gonna be a bunch of those dementors, like people who, and entities that are just like, what's going on in there? We gotta get in there. We gotta get in there and fuck stuff up, and to bring them to a place of despair and cold. No, you guys are protected. You guys are so divinely protected. And I think when you come into contact with this person and then union with this person, you're gonna be like, oh, I thought my life was really bad, but man, I've been protected. And so all of those trials and tribulations, they molded me into someone who could help others that are dealing with that don't have the tools, that don't have the same protection. I can be there instantly. I will appear. It's like you're going to manifest, but you're going to what's that called? Not apparate. Harry Potter. Why is Harry Potter in my mind right now? Maybe something about Carolinas. I don't know if there's Carolina on my mind. They're going to manifest. I'll use the word manifest, but that's not the word I was looking for, where it's like they'll appear, but they're going to like almost like teleport. So if you have a dark thought that's trying to get in there, it's like your person's going to come in through nature, through dogs, other people, through music, through things around you that are going to make you laugh, right? Because we smile in the face of God. We don't cry. The devil likes sorrow. So it's going to be, there's a reminder that you're protected. I think that's it. I feel like I could continue to go on for hours and hours. 48. Okay, we're going to just stop it there. All right, so we got 12, 3, 3. So those numbers could be important to you. Maybe somebody's 48 years old, right? But either way, you're syncing up. So I say the time is now, and maybe that's right now when you're watching this. Their person's going to message, or you're going to see them, or you're going to get some sort of confirmation that they're around you. But the time is now is a window, right, of this divine frequency, where you can come together and you're able to oh, it keeps coming through, that word. Maybe it'll come to me and that's what I'll title this, but anyway, yeah, this is big stuff, major stuff, and this space is not for people to like continue wondering about every new connection and every Tom, Dick, or Harry, or Sally Sue Monica, I don't know. I don't know the female equivalent to that. This is focused on gearing you toward your union, you and your person coming into union. And then I hope that you don't ever have to come back and watch these videos, because you're sure and you know that you're in your union. So there's nothing else to question. That's my hope for this space, is that it leads people to do the work, get themselves on that 1111 frequency, come into union, so we can all like take care of this world, because holy shit, it needs it. So that is all. Until next time, I wish you well.